Hello, everyone. My name is Lori Peak, and I am the principal investigator for the National Science Foundation supported NERI Converge facility, which is headquartered here at the Natural Hazard Center at the University of Colorado Boulder. On behalf of our entire team, it is our pleasure to welcome you to this Converge webinar focused on our training module series. Converge is dedicated to advancing the ethical conduct and scientific rigor of convergent disaster research. Since 2018, we have worked to identify, educate, connect, and fund hazards and disaster researchers across dozens of disciplines. Today, during this brief webinar, we are going to provide an overview of the Converge training module series, including what motivated the modules, their overall structure, and the reach and impact that we have had so far. We decided to record this webinar after receiving several inquiries from instructors who use the modules in their university classrooms. Dr. Christine Gibb at the University of Ottawa, for example, told us that she would love to have a short video that provides more background and context for the development of the modules that she assigns in her classes. We thank Dr. Gibb and others for motivating us to record this webinar today. We wanted to start with a few words about the motivation and establishment of this series itself. The training modules were initially conceptualized as part of a broader proposal to the National Science Foundation to establish Converge. One of the 5 major tasks in that proposal was to develop a series of free online training modules that would synthesize hazards and disaster research on foundational topics for a much broader audience of next-generation interdisciplinary hazards and disaster researchers and practitioners. We recognize that disaster research is often highly event-driven. In order for the field to progress, it is crucial that those new to this area of study have access to already existing research and an understanding of various methodological approaches and potential ethical challenges. The Converge training modules were envisioned as one approach to get research findings, data, and other tools into the hands of emerging scholars in our field. Today, I'm joined by Rachel Adams, a research associate at Converge and the Natural Hazard Center, and Candace Evans, a graduate research assistant with Converge and the Natural Hazard Center. Rachel and Candace serve as the co-lead developers for the modules. The 3 of us have worked together from the beginning of this series to conceptualize and develop the content for the available modules, as you will hear, in partnership with several other collaborators. Rachel, over to you.
Thank you for that introduction, Lori. The Converge training modules are free online trainings designed for students, early career professionals, and others who are new to the hazards and disaster field. They incorporate an all-hazards approach grounded in cutting-edge research from the social sciences, public health, engineering, and other disciplines. Each module features a set of learning objectives, lesson plans, case studies, a list of additional resources, and a final quiz. And each module is worth 1 contact hour of general management training through a partnership with the International Association of Emergency Managers. We released our first training module in June 2019. As of February 2024, we have released a total of 12 modules. As you can see on this slide, our first module that was released in June 2019, Social Vulnerability and Disasters, has been completed a total of 3,460 times. Our next most frequently completed modules include Disaster Mental Health with 2,123 completions, Cultural Competence with 1,483 completions, and Broader Ethical Considerations with 1,025 completions. Our other modules have been completed hundreds of times since the release, with the exception of a few of our newest modules. We currently have 6 training modules that focus on the foundational topics of institutional review board procedures in extreme events research, conducting emotionally challenging research, cultural competence, collecting and sharing perishable data, social vulnerability, and disaster mental health. We also offer 6 modules on more advanced topics, including broader ethical considerations, Indigenous sovereignty and disasters, positionality, reciprocity, gender-based violence in fieldwork, and public health implications of hazards and disaster research. Regardless of the topical area, each of these modules touches on the core themes presented in the graphic on this slide, including research ethics, data management and use, practical applications of research, social stratification and inequality, power differentials, interdisciplinary collaboration, and research methods. In addition to our core team, we have a large network of collaborators who have helped these modules come to fruition. These collaborators include graduate students, faculty, and others who work on cutting-edge topics relevant to the series' core themes. So we've developed these collaborations in many ways. In some cases, Lori reached out to people doing innovative work in our fields and asked if they would work with us to co-develop a module for the series. In others, we were working on modules and brought in additional collaborators who hold expertise in the module topical area. The topics for the modules have been developed and refined in several ways. Several of the ideas for the modules, such as those that focused on social vulnerability, the IRB, ethics, and disaster mental health, were included as part of the original Converge grant proposal to NSF. In other cases, our team developed topics in collaboration with funders, including the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the U.S. Geological Survey. Scientists within these agencies saw gaps in areas such as reciprocity or the public health implications of disaster research, and we worked together to co-develop module content. In other instances, researchers came to us, or we reached out to researchers who we knew were working on relevant topics, such as emotionally challenging research. In the case of the positionality module and the Indigenous sovereignty module, the original content was developed for another purpose, and then we worked with the original authors to shape the content into a Converge module. There are obviously many different ways that we have identified topics, and we are always looking for new partnerships and ideas. So please email us at converge@colorado.edu if you have any additional suggestions for training modules.
Since 2019, nearly 10,000 people, including students, academics, government officials, private sector professionals, and others, have registered for the training modules, and we have had nearly 11,000 successful module completions. Of those who have completed our modules, 78% are students, and 68% self-identify as emerging researchers. Our analysis of registration data also show that about 1/4 of users are affiliated with the social sciences, followed by emergency management, education, medicine/nursing, public health, engineering, the natural sciences, humanities and law, business, other, and the formal sciences. We are very pleased with the multidisciplinary reach of the modules, as one of our goals at the outset was to promote these trainings across programs of study. To delve more deeply into understanding the use and impact of our modules, we published 2 articles in which we evaluated the impacts of both the social vulnerability and disaster mental health modules. Our results demonstrated that users who complete the modules report a significant increase in knowledge, skills, and attitudes regarding these topics, especially those who identify as students, early career researchers, and members of historically underrepresented groups. In addition to our 2 evaluation articles, we have several other publications based on the Converge training modules. For instance, in 2023, we published an article as part of the NERI Special Collection in the Frontiers in Built Environment Journal, in which readers can learn more about the Converge training modules and the process we use to develop and evaluate them. Additional publications that feature other Converge resources are available via the Converge website. Some of our other publications emerged out of our systemic reviews of the research literature on specific module topics. As we developed the module content, we often came to recognize that there was a need for additional treatment in the published literature on these topics. Some of our recent topical publications that grew out of modules include our article in the journal Disasters on perishable disaster data, as well as 2 forthcoming book chapters on broader ethical considerations and positionality in hazards and disaster research. We also have papers under review focused on emotionally challenging research and reciprocity. In addition to the modules themselves, we have developed a series of annotated bibliographies based on the literature used to develop each of the training modules. We spend so much time reviewing the literature in preparation for writing the modules that we wanted to share these reading lists with others. In particular, we hoped that these would be useful for students developing reading lists as well as early career scholars. You can download the annotated bibliographies directly from the Converge website. There is one annotated bibliography for each module. As new relevant publications become available, we update these bibliographies in the modules themselves. If you have any additional relevant literature to add, we hope you will email us at converge@colorado.edu. In addition, we have an assignment bank, which includes assignments developed by course instructors who have used our training modules in their university classrooms. If you are an instructor, we encourage you to use one of these model assignments as well. If you have a new assignment you would like to share with us for our assignment blank, please reach out to us at converge@colorado.edu.
The Converge training modules are supported by the National Science Foundation with supplemental funding from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the U.S. Geological Survey. We also want to acknowledge the entire team here at Converge and the Natural Hazards Center. Everyone here contributes to these modules in some way, either through reviewing, testing, or otherwise supporting these efforts. Thank you so much for tuning into the webinar today. We hope that you will access the Converge training modules and that you find them useful for your work or educational purposes in the hazards and disaster field.